Wow, that was very nice, wasn't it? Some light. Got all this set up here. There we too much. So, all right. So, welcome to the show. Today is international. Well, every day is going to be International Call-In Day. This is my first episode of Call-In. So let's try and see the ways you can come in. Firstly, the best way is to open your Google Meet and type in the code or copy paste the code. It's best to type in the code. You do not need the hyphens, so you can just type in the letters. That'll make life much easier, I'm sure. There is also hold on a minute. Oh yes, this is what I wanted to go for. I'm gonna put this in the shot. Oh, is still a reverb? Okay, how's that? Is that no reverb? Reverb? It's good to know. Good to hear. I should listen back a bit. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, yes. This is what I wanted to go for. I'm listening for some. I'm going to put this. Okay, if oh, is still a reverb? Oh, good. I'm not that far. Okay, how's that? Is that no reverb? Reverb? Still? It's good to know. Good to hear. I should listen back a bit. Let's see what's going on. So I'm trying to still figure out if there's what I can do about the reverb, if there is any. So yeah, that's why I got to keep on talking, even if I'm not quite sure what we're gonna say right here. More phone numbers. Yeah, there's oh, is still a reverb? Oh, good. It is still reverbing, isn't it? Is that no reverb? Reverb? Still? It's good to know. Good to hear. I should listen back a bit. Yeah, just let me know if there's what I can do about the much reverb, better. If there is any. Yes, probably two channels we're inputting cloud. Thanks, man. I'm not quite sure what we're gonna say right here. More phone numbers. Yeah, there's oh, is still a reverb? Oh, good. It is still reverbing, isn't it? I can hear. If I'm listening, and I can hear myself twice. And the reason is. Yeah, just let me know if there's what I can do about the much better. If there is any. No. Yes, probably two channels we're inputting cloud. Thanks, man. No, there's a delay. You're right. I can. Oh, this is horrible. More phone numbers. Yeah, there's oh, is still a reverb? Oh, good. It is still reverbing, isn't it? I can hear. If I'm listening, and I can hear myself. I can. This is horrible. And the reason is. Oh, is that any better? Let me know if it's what I can do. Much better? No. Yes, probably two channels we're inputting cloud. Thanks. No, there's a delay. I turned something off, so I don't know what's going to go on now. Oh, I know what's going on. Yeah, there's oh, is still a reverb? Oh, good. So that's the video. I can hear. Wow, I can hear. Oh, let me just I'm gonna turn off my mic, all right? I'm just gonna listen back and see what I. No, I don't know what's going on. I'm lying. When I say I know what's going on, it's not true. Because I've switched everything off here, and now I can't hear. Oh, that seems to have solved it, whatever this is. Let me see if I do it like that. have a solution or what? No, I don't know what's going on. I'm lying. When I say I know it's not true. Cause I've switched everything off here, and now I can't hear. Oh, that seems to have solved it. Whatever this is. Let me see if I do it like that. Have. I don't understand why my video is picking up my. No, this is what's going on. I'm lying. When I say I know it's not true. Okay. I've switched everything off here. Yeah. And now I can't hear. Now if I put this mic on like that, then it probably goes to ghosting, doesn't it? Whatever this is. So let me hold on a sec and check. If I do it like that. Check, I mean. Have. Okay. I don't understand why my video is picking up my. No, this is what's happening. When I say I know it's not true. Okay. Okay. I think I've switched everything off here. Yeah. There we go. And now I can't hear. Now if I put this mic on like that, then it probably goes to ghosting, doesn't it? Whatever this is. So let me hold on a sec and check. If I do it like that. Check, I mean. Okay, I'll just put that there. Don't use the. Don't use that. I don't understand why my video is now. Up my. No, so that should be. That should be better right now. Okay, I think I got it going. All right. Wow, how long have we been going for? 9 minutes before I figured out my audio. Now, if I put welcome to Sidney Winston's channel. I'm an atheist activist out of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Check on me. I'm waiting to hear the feedback. Okay, from the fix. That there. Don't use the. Don't use that. I don't understand why my video is now. So that should. All right. That should be better. Let me know if let me know if you hear better audio, like just one voice and not stereo. All right. Wow, how long have we been going for? 9 minutes before I figured out my audio. I think we got the audio going. Okay, cool. Sidney Winston's channel. I'm an atheist activist out of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Check on me. Excellent. Okay, good. Now we're in business. Sorry about that. Next time we won't have to waste 10 minutes getting ready because I'm here. Okay, the first thing I want to tackle before people start joining is Darth Dawkins. I have exposed Darth Dawkins for the adulterer, the liar, the hypocrite, the abuser, the angry, angry man that he is. What I don't understand is why people are all of a sudden starting to feel sorry for Darth Dawkins. Is that because Sidney Winston is too hard on Darth Dawkins? I hope it is, because that means I'm winning. If I can get to Darth Dawkins as much as he gets to those little kids and fucks them up, then I'm winning, baby. I am winning. So if anybody is going to join... Oh, yes, I was going to show you. All the pages that you can... All the countries that you can join up on. Let me see if I can... let me just find a place to do it. I'll just fix a couple of things. All right. And then find a channel. Google. What's this one called? Meet. Meet.google. Ah, there it is too. Ha ha ha. So, look. This is really crazy. You can call in from all the countries on the planet. Both of you who are watching, if you're in a different country than North America, check this out. All you got to do is dial the following numbers. You see? Look, all the countries. You dial the number that's on your screen. And you can come and join. Isn't that nice? Isn't it marvelous? I think it is, man. I think it's awesome. What I'm going to do, of course, I think I'm going to have to back there. I'm going to have to include it, I think, in the on the YouTube, which I don't think I did. So let me do that. We're in here for the long haul, don't forget. So oh yeah, I've got to watch out for my slow computer. It's kind of easy to forget. There we go. All right. Okay, all the links are already in the... No problem. All the links are already in the description down below. So we're good to go. Get in here, everybody. Especially if you want to talk about anything that's current around the community, this community. You know, the one we're in is the one that's headed by Artangelo. And Artangelo is the Adolf Hitler of the community, of the Christian community, and Darth Dawkins is the Heinrich Himmler of the Christian community. Prove me wrong. But the purpose of this one here right now is for anyone to call in from anywhere all over the world. I'm starting this as calling this episode 1-1 because I want to keep this going on a daily basis. And I want to see if we can create atheists all over the world at no cost to them whatsoever. But the real idea behind Ask an Atheist Anything was I am an atheist, but I'm not the atheist. So if you asking an atheist anything is basically, if there's a room full of atheists like here, then anyone can ask any one of us anything. So if you are an atheist and you are prepared to take questions, I mean, you're prepared to take questions and give answers, then join in. Join in. We can chat while we wait for questions. Or if you don't get any questions, we can still chat. I think that's very cool. So, oh, I see. Let me just stop these guys until somebody joins. I'll just go mute over there. There we go. So you won't have all these strange. I wonder if I can just get rid of that. Okay. Hey, that looks much better. Check it out. Woo! Look at that. There we go. Okay, so anybody can join the Google Meet room. Please don't be shy. I'm not gonna run away. You are not gonna run away. I don't expect any Christians to call in yet. They're probably still, putting their toe in the water to see what's going on here. What's happening? What's Sidney Winston doing now? Okay, well, I'll tell you what Sidney Winston's doing now. He's going international. There's an international call-in to the Sidney Winston show right now. You can either call in or you can join with the code using your Google Meet app. My intention is to keep this going. So if it's slow to take off, that's all right. But it's just unfortunate for those who are waiting in suspense for this to take off. I want to see if I'm going to put more light in here. How does this work? I've got this whole new sort of setup thing going here. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go to the side chat. I mean the side chat. All these different rooms, the Google chat, the side chat of YouTube, the Messenger. Hey, did you know that Facebook and Messenger and Instagram and WhatsApp all failed today for some reason? They were down for a few hours, I believe. So we got Clout and Henry Hansen here tonight so far that are participating in the side chat. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your time. Got any suggestions that you want to talk about, you want me to address? Please type them in the side chat or come in and join and let us know. All right. DNS or something. So yeah, that's probably what happened. So the DNS is the domain name something. It's where it's basically your if you have a website, your web host, your domain name. For example, facebook.com is the domain, and whoever owns the domain or whoever hosts the domain. No, I shouldn't say hosting because it's not the same thing. But when you have a domain name and you want to connect your domain to your website, you need the DNS codes. The DNS codes are what translates your machine address into the www dot whatever you see. So from machine to human. So what probably happened with Facebook was that somebody changed the DNS codes or probably changed them, deleted them, or whatever it is, and that nobody could find Facebook anymore because there was no DNS pointer. That sounds to me what happened, simply put. Big problem, but simply put, that's probably what happened. Pretty important to any computer connecting to any other computer via the internet. Exactly. In fact, not only pretty important, but essentially vital. Without it, you saw what happened. Here comes somebody. Good evening.
Yeah, evening.
How's it going?
I'm good. I'm Clout, just so you know, man. I've been
There you are, Cloud.
Yeah, no, I enjoy your content, man. It's
Thank you.
just enough venom to keep the interest, but more than enough substance so that I actually feel like I'm getting something out of it.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. Which parts have you been following specifically, or just general?
Well, more or less, I'm kind of in general. Any of the kind of live stuff that I miss, I try and catch up on later. The whole history of the Bible podcast, I have been listening to while I'm pouring through emails at work and stuff. So
Yeah,
that's been just
that's up to date
kind of
now.
keep me working.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some cool stuff.
Yeah, there's still
Yeah, and then
more.
almost anytime you stream, if I'm around, I'll pop on.
Fantastic. Are you trying to crush Christianity as well?
I wouldn't necessarily describe it like that,
Or am I
but
alone? Am I alone on this planet?
well, no, I'm just not trying to crush Christianity. I'm trying to disabuse people of poor ideas.
Oh, well, semantics.
Exactly. Just not the
Exactly.
way I would phrase it, but somebody else would say I'm doing exactly that. So
Yeah, exactly.
my Lutheran minister
Well,
cousin
you're
being one of
not
them.
you're not preaching Christianity, right?
No,
I'm
certainly
assuming.
not.
Exactly. It's a horrible
I am
cult.
I am an atheist in your vein. It's
Okay.
I've never heard a God claim that makes any real sense to me.
No, me neither. Other than the sun god, because yes,
Ah,
you can pray to the sun god because the sun god created you. Excuse me. My dog is a evangelical Christian and he's preaching.
no, I'm
Oh,
certain
stop.
is often combative when it comes to conversing with you.
No, he's like all about John. That's it. John, 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 John. Lie, 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 lie. You know. I, where did you get the? Yeah, exactly. Henry says the sun exists. So okay, good. We're organized. Sun is God.
That's probably a better argument than most. The sun gives us all the energy we need. It's the reason so much of what exists is possible, and
Mm-hmm.
even the source, like maybe not our sun, but some other previous sun, is the source of all the heavy material we have. Like,
Well, all the heavy material are created in massive like supernova type of explosions where the heat is more than the regular. Uh,
right? So well, really, what I'm saying, like all the matter that we're familiar with, originates from some sun somewhere, if
mhm.
not ours, some other one.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is that you and I, and everybody else on this planet, we're all star stuff. You know, we never disappear. We just sort of we decompose and essentially collapse into atoms.
Yeah. No, I remember one of the coolest like science lessons ever was just how much empty space there is everywhere, right? Between all the material, in between all the individual atoms, in all of these things, there's just so much
That's
of the
what
space.
that's what totally amazes me. The amount of space between a nucleus and an electron is is huge.
Yeah.
Massive.
Like, and considering the size of those infinitesimally small things, right? And the distance between it, yeah, chemistry and physics and atomic physics is all very
So well,
just
I love it on the quantum level because
world
if you
shattering.
if you look at a rock, right, it's sitting there and it hasn't moved for zillions of years or whatever, but inside that rock, it's teeming with energy, and there's so much space, in the quantum world in that rock that it's impossible. It's impossible to um to what am I trying to say? It's impossible to defend a creator nowadays.
Yeah,
All
well,
the defenses I'm hearing now are just repeats, and they're just screaming them louder. They don't change. They're just shouting them louder. I think the Christians are fighting a losing battle, and I think they're going to lose it fairly soon.
well, and if I'm totally honest, I think they're fighting the wrong battle. Like, if if they're going to tout usefulness of this, then they need to display that usefulness.
Yeah.
And the rest of this conversation, like, it's always kind of funny to me to see, like, for example, somebody like Darth Dawkins,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't understand why he even bothers to argue, because he can just sit there alone and say I'm right.
He could
Like,
if he wants.
the
Yeah.
reason to argue is because you're trying to convince the person that you're arguing with, right? But that's not at all the point there,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
you could do that in a vacuum. You can do that, like, and satisfy your ego some other way, right? the
Mm,
the argument that's happening, like, at the beginning, on the face of it, that you're not changing minds, because that's not what it's constructed to do.
correct. I just.
Like, if you really want, yeah,
No, carry on. Carry on.
sorry.
Carry on.
No, it's like, if you really want to, like, espouse the virtues of
Hmm.
these faiths, it's it would be more effective to me to put those virtues on display, instead of trying to rationally argue whether or not this thing exists and can be proven logically or scientifically. Like, why does that matter to you? That's not what mattered. That's not why you're there. That's not what brought you to that faith, right? Like,
Correct.
argue the merits that keep you there. Don't try and argue, like, my perspective to me. It doesn't really make sense.
I'll tell you what doesn't make sense to me about Jesus specifically. Jesus is basically uh, a prophet or a messenger of God or God himself. Either way, doesn't really matter. And Jesus wrote shit down or supposedly came up with shit that humans today believe in and worship uh, and basically live for a better life in the afterlife, if that's possible. I don't know. And and then Muhammad comes along and comes up with Islam, etc., etc. But if Jesus was really the right, this was the true Messiah, the true prophet, the true you know what, everything that they claim. If that was a fact, then what is the need for another prophet called Muhammad and another prophet called uh, Joseph Smith and another one called L. Ron Hubbard and so on and so on and so on?
Right. I could agree. It's, like, if the message was so clear and concise, why do we keep getting it in different forms? Right.
Right. It just means that if Jesus was the one and true and only God, etc., there wouldn't be any more since Jesus. That would be the end of it. But no, it just carried on as if Jesus was just another stepping stone in the in the mythological evolution of religion.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we're debating the virtues of that because it's the most popular figure now. But, I can't imagine that this debate has ever really been any different, just the names change, right? But it's
Yeah.
kind of always been a conversation amongst people, like, well, who should I pray to? Well, I got this guy and I got this guy, and, like, okay, you guys argue their virtues, let me know when you're done.
Well, wouldn't this planet, if we had to have a god on the, okay, let's say we got two choices. I'm going to give you a hypothetical here. We got two choices on for the planet. Okay, we have to have a god. If we have to have a god, then we have the sun god. That's it. Everybody prays to the sun god because the sun is there. The sun provides life. The sun provides sustenance. The the sun provides photosynthesis for the plants and or provides that the plants can photosynthesize the sun and so on and so on and so on. So the sun seems to be the good guy, the god of our creation, right? Because without the sun, we are doomed. Nothing. That's the one scenario. The other, and everybody on the planet worships the sun or understands the sun to be the ultimate, as people like to put it. But on the other hand, the other choice is everybody on this planet is an atheist. pure, straight up, Gnostic, strong atheist. Okay, these are the two situations. One, the question now is one, which of the two positions would result in a more peaceful and stable global society and community? And number two, which of them would decrease the level of violence that we see on this planet, of xenophobic violence that we see on this planet every day? Would it all just disappear? Would either of those work? Personally, I think if everybody was an atheist and didn't think about the nonsense, there'd be nothing to argue and fight and scream about. And all that money that would be saved in defending your borders against, heretics on the one hand, or fundamentalists on the other hand, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think a lot of things would just become like very direct paths that
Yeah.
right now are very circuitous paths,
Yeah.
right? Like the way we approach certain kinds of addiction counseling, and the way we approach, uh, you know, I like struggling to come up with examples offhand, but like to a secular person, from a secular standpoint, there's these really just clear and direct, like, hey, I want this beneficial effect, so we go this way.
Right.
And then in your like more theistic strategies, it's like, well, no, first you have to come to here, and
Uh-huh.
then once you've accepted this, then we can move on and do these other things, but
Right.
first you have to come. And it's this more just kind of, you don't get to uh those kind of end results that you want very cleanly or simply. You have to
Correct.
go through all these weird pageantry and strange ritualistic stuff to like finally arrive at a place where you can begin to work on the actual thing you're there for, right?
Yeah.
uh s- what so like, to me, the answer would be obvious, right? We have all kinds of examples throughout history of people worshiping the sun and doing all kinds of heinous things in the
Mm-hmm.
name of that worship to gain the sun's favor for whatever
Indeed.
reason. But I can't think of a single, like, I don't even know of any like fully atheist societies, right? And I certainly can't think
Freedom
of
from
one.
Religion Foundation?
Well, but then that's not really a society. That's like, you know, as
What's
far as
this
I know, we're still
difference?
a minority, right? Like,
No, I don't believe that. I believe that 66.6% of this planet are real atheists, whether they have confessed or not.
I I'm inclined to agree to the degree that, like, I don't think people act on those beliefs anywhere near as much as they profess them, right? Like, most people,
Exactly.
regardless of your belief, you look both ways before crossing the street. Like, you didn't involve God in that decision in any meaningful way, right? When you
Well,
go to like
yeah,
cook things on the stove, you're not saying like, God, boil the water for me. No, you turn on the burner and you wait the adequate amount of time before the kettle whistles,
right,
right? It's, nobody relies on God in their day-to-day like life in the way that they rely on him in a much more kind of detached and ephemeral way.
right. I agree. Well, it doesn't look like people are lining up, banging down the doors to get into this room.
Yeah, no, I figured I'd just jump in and, like,
Yeah,
I
but
don't know,
what you
be
know
one of
that
the first and
no,
I'm a
you're
stand.
absolutely the first. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it running. Uh, not so much keep it running all the time, but at different times of my day, it's there are different time zones where it's the right time of day. So if it no matter whether it's 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock at night, or anything in between, there's always a country out there that is awake, or it's evening or whatever, and they can call in. So I guess the idea is to get um, is to keep doing it until people do join, and this catches on, if it's going to catch on at all.
Yeah, but well, you build a following, right? You don't just get one.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah. No, I'm all about it. I'm
You know,
willing to hang out for a little while, but yeah, you get tired of me, just let me know.
well, no, I mean, sometimes I'll just say that, enough is enough, and I'll go have dinner or something and get on my day,
Yeah,
do
yeah, no,
whatever I got
that's
to
exactly
do,
what I mean.
and
Yeah.
come back, start it up again, or wait a day, whatever. I'm just gonna play it by ear. Ah,
Well, I guess here's a curious question
yeah.
of the denominations you're aware of, or let's say, I don't want to be too offensive, but flavors of faith that you've ever been exposed to. What do you think is the most positive, like the least negative, the least harmful to both its faithful and the people around them?
Yes. The least harmful physically uh or
Any way
ideologically.
you want to play it. It's yeah. I ideologically more than anything, I'd actually be curious. As I don't put everything on equal footing as far as
I tell
their
you,
damage.
the best feeling I ever got was when I went into the Baha'i center in Haifa in Israel. So if I was to base that alone on just how I felt when I walked into different religious establishments, temples and Sikh temples or Jewish synagogues or churches or whatever, Buddhist temples, da da da. The best the best sense I got, the best sense of absolute calm and really, really just no stress was the Baha'i. And I have no idea what their religion's all about. To be honest with you.
Excuse me. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah, no, but that's you know what if that's the field, then yeah, then that's it. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that was my feel good. Maybe it had to be there, right there on the hill in Haifa in Israel, but it was really nice.
Alright.
They're on this hill and it's beautiful gardens and up and down and the weather's nice and it's just lush and quiet. It's just perfect.
I've only ever actually heard good things about uh area there. Never had the luck to travel myself.
You'd
People I've
like
heard different varying things about.
about Baha'i?
Not specifically Baha'i, but just Israel, kind of in general, and like that neighboring region. I used to work for a couple. One was from Pakistan, one was from Syria, and I've had handful of friends come in and out of my life that were from either Israel or the bordering region. A lot of differing stories, and pretty much everybody has at least one of a really terrible, crappy experience with someone else, right?
Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice. Put the code right here. That. There we go. Fade it in. No, maybe I'll just leave it over here like that one. What's happening in the side chat? CBC. I see CBC. I see Susan Ormiston. And I see Kabul. And I see. Oh, reporters in Kabul are being allowed to film by the Taliban. Wow. It's amazing how desensitized we are, or how, I don't know. Is it Munchausen's syndrome by proxy, where every time the Taliban does something that we deem is almost um, civilized, we applaud the Taliban. Yeah, you let women film. Yeah, you let reporters in. You know. Yeah, you did one little thing. Meantime, on the other hand, they're brutalizing and murdering and executing and oppressing a whole country.
Yeah.
Almost reminds me of
Yeah.
1936 Germany when they held the Olympics. The Nazis held the Olympics, and the world went in there and loved it and didn't give a shit about what the Nazis were doing.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing that that's the first broadcast we ever made that was powerful enough to kind of go out into space. So if there's anyone out there listening, likely the first they ever learn of us or hear from us is going to be Hitler speaking at those Olympic Games, which
Exactly.
probably not the greatest first impression, but hopefully they get some of the rest of it,
I,
and
I'm not
somewhere
sure
down
that
the road we
I'm not sure that
figure our
Hitler.
shit out.
I'm not sure that Hitler actually spoke at any of those games. I might be wrong, but
He
I have never.
definitely spoke at the opening.
He did he?
Um,
Oh,
almost certain he spoke at the opening.
okay. I'd love to actually hear that speech or get a transcript of it.
Yeah, and on the one hand, I'm sure it's all fluff, right? It's not like
Yeah.
he's going to talk about the actions of the Third Reich at like an international game with countries that he is literally on the verge of trying to conquer. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, uh, a lot of interesting stuff going on right around then. Like we really started to get a handle on technology and some of the things that it was capable of, and begin to just a little bit understand some of the real power that lent us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you get the feeling that we're on the brink of something right now, or not?
I think we're going so fast, we're kind of constantly on the brink of something. It's just, how pivotal is that next thing going to be? Because, just over the last 10 years, there have been, huge advances in list a subject. And who knows, like the next 10 years should be twice as fast, right?
Well, I'm more concerned about international frictions. Like I'm just hearing China is the bad guy a lot, and Pakistan's the bad guy a lot. Like China and Pakistan and Afghanistan are now like buddies.
Yeah. Well, and I always try and keep in mind that when we have those conversations, we're talking about the people in charge. Like when we say China, we don't mean every single Chinese person. We mean like these handful of people that have the kind of influence and the kind of leverage and the kind of power to actually affect massive change, in that country and elsewhere in the world. Right. And there's for every one of those people, there's maybe 100,000 to a million just people that they don't give a crap. They just want to live, eat, have a little fun, and make sure their kids don't die.
Yeah, crappy situation. But it always gets me. You know, it always gets me is that let's say it would take $1 billion to solve homelessness in a particular country. A billion. Let's say it would take $10 billion to solve homelessness and construct a mental health program that helps prevent poverty and homelessness in as much as possible, and drug addiction and whatnot. It's going to cost $25 billion. No, it's going to cost $100 billion to solve this this societal problem. Okay, $100 billion. Holy shit, $100 billion. That is so much money. No fucking way does any government allow $100 billion into the social the social um, the network of social well-being. No, $100 billion is too much. But holy shit, man! Start a war to react to provocation. It costs $100 billion a month. No big deal. The money's there. No shit. Afghanistan for 20 years. How much did that cost? How many billions and billions, trillions perhaps? The money wouldn't have been there to solve domestic problems, but it's always there when it comes to killing other people in other countries. That's what I can never, ever, ever understand. It's never there to solve people problems. Never, ever there. No, ever, never. But when it comes to international intrigue and war and posturing and, you know, sending troops and ammunition and war stuff all over the place and using them, no big deal. No big deal. And can anybody explain that to me, please?
Yeah, I wish I knew. Although I can see like military action seems like a more direct way of kind of pacifying a situation, although it never works out that way, right? Like that's always the intent, but it never actually like plays out like that. And aid packages, there's a there's a long history of those things being like twisted to the wrong ends, turned to the wrong people, like given to the wrong sides, or just
Corruption.
not being distributed in the
Of
ways that they
course, of
should. Yeah,
course.
it's like you can't just send the money, because then
That's how corruption
somewhere along the
works.
way somebody is going to grab up like half that money that's meant for X starving
Even if
people.
you send
You
them
can't just have
goods,
them food, because somebody's
you
just going
can't
to grab up good. Like that's
exactly.
even worse,
That's
because now not
exactly
only
it.
do you have to send the goods, you have to send a whole crap load of people who are protecting the goods, and they're gonna get attacked, and now you have an incident. The whole thing just is immediate. Like everybody just sees the horrible diplomatic incident coming, so it's like, F it. We'll just let them like get worse until we send in like just a whole bunch of troops and take everything over, and then leave it in ruins, and
Yeah,
then bitch and moan about it 15 years later when we're like, why are they mad?
yeah. So, you know, when I did economics um, at university, it was a sort of a Milton Friedman based course, and the big question that always came up, that was from the very beginning of the course, was governments need to make a decision. They can either have guns or they can have butter, right? Guns or butter. That was the phrase. Guns or butter. And the butter, the government doesn't have money for, but the guns, the government has money for. And that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Why is that? The money's either there or it's not there, but it seems to be there for guns, but not there for butter. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah,
It's
well, and I think that's like, in the case of the US, I live in the US, and I think the military has a kind of leverage that no other part of our government really has, and they can point to all these things in the past that was like, we needed the US military for this. We
yeah,
need to have this US military. And then not only do they need to have it, they need to use it to continuously prove that we need this. And you know there's parts of it that's true, like national security is a concern, right? It is worth having a military for sure. And the way our military is structured and the kind of meritocracy that it strives to be, right, these are relatively good. But it's also given a lot of our politicians the kind of leverage to get what they want out of this deal. And that's like, we don't really have much of a separation between the various stances that exist in politics. We have the two sides, and like you pick one, and the military is popular with both of them. So there isn't really like any alternatives.
Mm-hmm. Where do you stand on universal basic income? Support that?
I'm not great with economics. I will like start with that.
Well,
So like
universal basic income is,
I understand what it is.
you know
I'm
what it
just
is,
saying
eh?
like I don't really have a whole lot of background in this and a lot of like ancillary knowledge around it or anything.
Well,
Uh,
it's
but
more of
the
a,
idea I support.
yeah, yeah. The idea is to, so that everybody has a minimum basic income every month, enough to afford them some self-esteem and enough to afford them a little bit of economic freedom. Nowhere is that actually happening right now, but I support that wholeheartedly. That especially would help creative people like artists, musicians, and so on and so forth, and those who are stuck. Sometimes people, you just get stuck. And if you get a universal basic income, it could be the, not everybody's lazy and will just settle for it. But if it's
No, and
enough,
it
if it's
you
enough to support your hobby and make you happy, I
and
absolutely support it.
there's the list of other kind of positive consequences from that just continues, right?
Mm.
You lower the amount of crime, right? There's less of a
Yeah.
need, like people are less desperate, so crime goes
There's
down,
two things. The two
right?
things you
It
can do.
like
There's two things you can do to improve this planet, like tomorrow. Number
yeah,
one, a smart universal basic income, which is not just lip service, but is actual substantial, that people can actually live and still be somewhat consumers, not great consumers, but you can still have a little bit at the end of every month. You don't have to worry about every paperclip you want to buy. Um, Universal basic income, and what was the second thing? I can't remember the second thing yet. It slipped, but it'll come back to me.
oh, I don't remember a second thing.
Oh, well, I said no. I said there were two things that'll fix this. That'll fix the
Oh
world. I
yeah, yeah,
guess
yeah. You didn't get to the
universal
second one
basic
yet.
income
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and something else, right?
Well, and universal healthcare, I would imagine, right? I think that's,
Oh
or
yeah,
maybe that's it, or that just
that's
falls
part
under
of
basic income.
universal. It's part of
Yeah,
universal basic. Uh, yeah, universal basic healthcare.
yeah.
In fact, the healthcare should be what replaces this the big huge military industrial complex. Put have a healthcare complex, healthcare. I don't know what would you call it? Global healthcare complex where billions of dollars are put into communities and mental health and
Can you imagine like the research that would get thrown forward if they had access to just military hardware in terms of computer processors,
mhm, mhm.
right? Like it, what the things that would be capable, or the things that would become possible, the things that would become like established known old subjects with, a yeah.
Listen, I would love to. You know what I would love to see more than anything else in this world is the females as a stand up as one united group and say, "Fuck you, males! Don't tell us how to live. Don't tell us what to wear. Don't tell us what we can do with our bodies. We are women. Leave us alone. Fuck off." That's what I'd like to see. To hear every single woman who believes in in individuality and success and prosperity uh, and well-being, etc., etc. We should all get together, and one person would stand up and be a leader and free all the women in this world who are oppressed because they're
Oh,
women.
if only it could happen all at once, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
my mom and my sisters are those women, but obviously like not completely, but yeah, I'm all about it. I don't think anybody should tolerate, abuse like that, and especially not like casual public, like demeaning or anything like that.
Yeah. My dog, I need to take my doggy out for a pee-pee. You got pee-pee? You want to get pee-pee? And you want to go pee-pee? Oh, yes, she does. Okay, I'm going to take my dog out. I won't be very long.
Yeah, I dare not stand in the way of that. I'm going to get some dinner myself.
Okay. I'm just going to keep us running, keep some music going, and I'll be back. All right.
Well, good chatting with you, man.
Yeah.
I'll be seeing you.
Oh, Okay. I'm back, and everything worked out well. Just messing with his light here. Okay, so let's see. Did anybody else come in? No. Is anybody else still watching? No. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. We've got 4 people currently watching. Thank you for hanging in there. Thank you for waiting for me. Do join the meet room. Somewhere in the world, it is evening. Somewhere in the world, it is morning. I can tell you that in like Pakistan, for sure, is 12 hours ahead of me. So it's 6:30 in the morning. Australia is probably a little bit later than that. So hey, you Australians, you get in here. I need atheists to come in here. So when a question comes into an atheist, ask an atheist anything, there's an atheist on hand with the answer. I have all the answers that I have, and I could probably handle all the questions that come in, especially if they're from theists, because there's really nothing to debate or to talk about when it comes to supernatural nonsense. It's all made up, so there's nowhere to go with that. So the intention here of my room is to create atheists. Create as many as I can. Most men think they know it all, Cryptomaria, really? So I want to create atheists like this. I better put it in this. There you go. Look, there you go. Creating atheists. That is my goal. And I want every last person on this planet to acknowledge reality. That's it. That's all it is. It's really simple. Acknowledge reality. If you want to have your superstitions and your mythology on the side privately, you know what? Go ahead. Most people do somehow with something. I have superstitions. Nothing to do with religion, but based on experiences. I remember once I used to do I used to play a certain sport regularly. And one day I um, I used to have this ritual where I went through and I put my togs on in a particular way. Blah, you know, I had this sort of, I guess it's a way of getting into the zone. And one day I changed that. I didn't do something that I normally would have done in a sort of a ritualistic manner, and I got badly injured in that game. And of course, I blame it on the fact that I didn't follow my little ritual. Of course, it's nonsense, but you know, that's the reason why you have these rituals, especially people that focus, athletes, and so on. I can't speak for non-athletes because my experience was with athletics. So anybody who would like to come in, do join. Google Meet code ZYQPOVSVOP. You can forget about the hyphens. You can forget about the dashes when you add that code. That doesn't look good. I got to change that message. There's no space. I notice now. There is no space between the colon, and there you go. See how much better it looks now? Wow. One spacer makes all the difference. So, just in case you can't read it, it is ZYQPOVSVOP. Algorithm makes a very good point. He says, if we could prevent indoctrination of young children, he suspects that religion would fade to a small minority in a few generations. Not going to happen though. Wow. I'm not so pessimistic. I agree that if you prevent indoctrination of young children, that it's gone. It disappears. So that's all you got to do is put religious dogma, creed, and doctrine on the same level as pornography. So with pornography, you've got to be 18 to be able to participate or watch it or consume it or do whatever it is you do with pornography. And with religion, maybe 18 is a little bit old, but 13. If you're 12 or 13 years old and you've already sort of figured out your brain is already, it's already naturally skeptic and ready to absorb anything that is fed to you, right? And if you are a rational person and you're 13 years old or 12 years old and you hear this nonsense story about God and creation and everything, and you have had a proper natural education, you'll realize straight away. I did that. That's what happened to me. So that's why I can say what I'm saying. You recognize straight away that there's something fishy going on. There's something dodgy. There's something not right, and you throw it away. It's like science. Something doesn't. One experiment doesn't work. The data's wrong. Throw it away. Gone. So I do agree with you, algorithm, that keeping children away from religion, not allowing parents to mutilate their children's minds, let alone their bodies, if you're Jewish or others sects that mutilate bodies. All right. Part of trying to keep this exciting would be to do some kind of a reaction to a video. Anybody, any suggestions? I've got a whole bunch of, the Darth Dawkins and Shani and a whole bunch of stuff that you probably don't even know the people. But if there's any suggestions, I can, if anybody wants me to do a reaction to anything particularly, I can go grab it and do it, or you can send it to me, or I could pick one of my own. If you guys want to see a reaction segment, I guess, while we wait for people to join. And this could go throughout the night, it can go throughout tomorrow, and so on and so on. It's just going to continue. This is going to be the same code, the same Google Meet code every single day, all night, when we're running. So you tell me what you want us to do. I'm going to go and I'm going to go have a chat with Mrs. Yappy here. Mrs. Yappy, did you want me to talk to you? Okay, I'm going to go and do that. I shall be back. Okay. I went, I made coffee, I played with my doggy and my doggy's boyfriend, who's over for a visit. My doggy's boyfriend is a cat. So, with not a very good temper, but, nice enough. Because it's a cat. Then I made some coffee. Cheers. Mm. Okay, so the deal here is this room on this YouTube channel right now, and will always be open when I have a Google Meet going, to the world. The numbers are published, or available at least, in the description. Where's the camera here? Below the description. You can get a list of numbers to call in from whatever country you're in, and there's a code. This doesn't cost you anything. What I'm looking for is atheists, primarily, because essentially the title of this is Ask an Atheist, and I need atheists in here to be an atheist to be asked. I have no problem being the atheist if I'm the only one, but it would be nice to have others experience the kind of bullshit questions that we get asked by those who don't think. But it's fun to teach them, to try and teach them. But the thing is that when they get like Darth Dawkins-esque, then you crush them. You crush them because that's what they deserve. So, if any of you have been watching any of my channel, my content, I've thrown up quite a bit about your friend and my enemy, Darth Dawkins, the Christian, the apologist, the adulterer, the abuser, the liar. Also, he is an angry cunt, don't you think? I probably listen to I watch Darth Dawkins a little bit every day, although yesterday and today I don't think I did. But anyway, usually on either Jefferson Spatchcock or Tom Rabbit or anybody else that actually was in a room with him and was so moved as to actually take a recording of their interaction with Darth Dawkins and then throw it up on their channel. And then sometimes I look at those. Darth Dawkins is a failure in every single aspect of his portrayal of his character. The character, let's say, let's say that the character of Darth Dawkins is exactly as the character is written, right? That's the way it's. If Darth Dawkins was a fictional character written, say, I don't know, 50 years ago by somebody, and then somebody, Gary Milne, picks up this character that's written down and says, "Oh, I could play that character," and then plays that character. That I'll be fine with it. I think it would be awesome. But what Gary Milne did was essentially admit that Darth Dawkins, the character, and Gary Milne, the man, is one and the same. Are one and the same. Boy, I tell you something. I'd like to reach out to atheists on. Let's have a look at some of these countries that we can go to. We can actually What is this? What is this? I don't want that. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Okay, good. So what I want to do is throw up some of these. Doesn't that look weird? Jeez. How the hell did I do that? Okay, so I'm going to try that again. If I do that. Oops, that wasn't it. There we go. So let me show you the countries I'm trying to meet. I'm trying to reach. This is not working out well at all. I think I've got to move something somewhere. Give me a moment here, folks. Folks. Okay, so if I move that and that down. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry, people. Oops. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it at that. This is just like that. Okay, so I need to make it bigger. Bigger. Okay. Smaller. Hold on a second. Yes, I know. You can see. I'm having fun here playing, but it's resizing stuff with one hand because I've got one hand on my cup of coffee. All right. Here we go. So what I'm trying to do is get international callers. Okay? Why not? Why the hell not? And right now, if you look to the side here, you'll see that, okay, so Sydney in Australia is afternoon. So right now we can get Australia to call in. Hey, Australia, get in here. Get in here. Who else can we get? Australia, Japan, the Philippines, Perth. Yeah, well, anywhere in Australia, I guess. Is everybody else? Europe is just too early. What's this here? New York. Yeah, maybe Australia, New York. Australia and the East Coast might be